In this video, sponsored by Lancaster Insurance, the Rover returns. So yeah, the Rover is back, and yeah, it was quite an expensive MOT, but nonetheless it's back on the road and driving better than ever. Key requirements were it's had two CV joints, both sides. Gator was completely torn and the joint was bone dry on that side. The gator was going this side, so it was only a matter of time. It's had a ball joint, top ball joint on the passenger side because the gator had split, which is now an MOT fail, and there's no point just changing the gator. You might as well change the entire ball joint. So that was done, and it's had a little welding as well, because you may recall it's had a tickle this side already, and this badly needs painting, but it keeps raining, so that's not great. So I haven't had a chance to do that. I did manage to get a bit of paint on this side. We've done a nice solid repair. It's a very visible repair. We've got a good seam there. I've just blasted it quickly with an aerosol. They zinc primed it, and yeah, I just chucked a bit of paint on just so there's something on it. You know, it's not the neatest. You really want to get a bit of filler on there, maybe a bit more dressing, but yeah, I don't care. It's solid. That is the main requirement here. Let's take it for a drive, and I'll keep the commentary going. There we go, that's idling somewhere near normal. So yeah, back in the Rover, the MOT ended up costing £420. So that was over 100 quid's worth of parts. I think the CV joints were 80 together, and the ball joint on top of that, and various materials used for the welding. Don't worry, she is warm. I've already been out. And I'm just going to let her sing away. Yeah, I mean, the welding is a nice job. It's not your typical MOT standard patch and slap it with underseal. Yeah, I mean, the reason I use that garage is because they do a good job. It's Madeira on Havard in Pontre de Grois. And if you saw the drift car, the Lexus powered Toyota AE86 in my Japfest video, yeah, they're the people who look after my cars, which is quite hilarious. But they play with such ludicrous powerful machinery and then end up looking after my wrecks for me when I can't do the work myself, that is. And at the moment I've been far too busy. But yeah, so yeah, the Rover owes me, including the tyres, over 500 quid now, so that's starting to get quite expensive. Although it is still a nice car, and the tyres, cheap as they are, it's a very wet day today, they do seem to actually grip, so that's always good. Because I've bought cheap tyres before and very much lived to regret it, but nothing bad to report so far with these ones, and it's not like I hang about. Oh, not like I don't hang about, rather. The wipers are problematic. I've just put them onto intermittent, and the problem is they tend to then not wipe again. They do one wipe and then that's it. Occasionally they get a bit confused because they park off the windscreen. In fact, it's probably going to be better if I just park up and show you. So we shall park up and do some wiper experimentation. So yeah, they're on intermittent at the moment. They haven't moved in quite some time. So to manually do it, I have to turn the wipers off and then back to intermittent, and I get a wipe. But if I do it too quickly, they don't actually go all the way up. So you have to get your timing right to make sure to get to there. And then you can see that jumping back and forth. They do. That's quite irritating, but they do that quite often. Very irritating, because I don't like just doing it on the mist function. There is a mist function. If I lift the stalk, they will park, and then I can do that. But you'll note there's a bit of a clank, and I shall show you why that is. It's because they're meant to park off the screen, like the passenger wiper actually has, but this one, it hits this so flat it doesn't go over the edge properly. That should be a smoother drop off the screen, but it's actually seriously chunky. So what's actually happening is it just smacks into the bottom like that, which might be one reason why the wiper linkages have a habit of wearing out and breaking on these cars. I bet that doesn't happen on the Honda version. It's quite irritating, because, you know, on the Lexus they would get to this position, and if you turn the wipers off, they would just sink to the bottom. But no, you get an extra wipe and a clank on this car. So there's a bit left to be desired the other day, and I got really confused the other morning because I was trying to change the wiper blade, so I wanted the arm up here, so I was trying to park it. So turned the ignition on, put the wipers on, and the rear wiper came on. But that's because I've got it in reverse, and reverse automatically goes into it automatically makes the rear wiper come on. But the front wipers didn't come on, so I was trying to work out why operating this stalk operated the rear wiper, because that has its own switches, like so. Oh, I do like a rear wiper. So yeah, all is not perfect with this car, it must be said. Of course, one of the biggest issues is that this really isn't my car, sort of thing. It's kind of a shared ownership with the Rover 800 club, although it's a shared ownership that sees me being the only one actually putting any money into it. So there's some discussion going on at the moment because yeah, I don't want to own this car anymore because it's costing an absolute ruddy fortune. Let's make it round a timber lorry parked helpfully in the middle of the road. I always intended that this car, I would look after it until June and then pass it on, but things aren't quite going to plan at the moment, and yeah, it's all getting a bit difficult. So I'm not quite sure how this is going to pan out at the moment. There are discussions ongoing at the very moment, but it's one reason there haven't been more videos on this car lately, because we're trying to suss out where we go going forward. I mean, it's still a nice car. I really like driving it, even though it's still got a lumpy idle. The carburetor engine really isn't the one to go for. I think this would be so much nicer with a fuel injected M series engine. But yeah, can't be helped. It is what it is. I still like the abundant torque, although that's only abundant compared to what I normally drive, I guess. You do have to kind of work it hard if you want to make progress, but thankfully my budget tyres are grippy enough that I can maintain progress quite sufficiently without too much trouble. But I mean, the steering's a touch light, but it's still a nice effortless car to drive briskly. I don't mean absolutely caning it, I mean, yeah, driving at a nice lick, I shall say. It doesn't require any effort to do. And I love the depth of the side windows, the low scuttle, the view out. It's a nice sort of airy car to drive. Very much my sort of car, really, even though it is quite enormous. Every time I go to park it, I suddenly realise just how long it is. But yeah, despite that, yeah, a very nice car, a very attractive car. I think it looks absolutely beautiful. I know some people can never forgive these cars for replacing the Rover SD1, but I think I might actually like this more. I mean, the SD1 has its own retro appeal because it's from a different era, but in terms of clarity of line, I think the 800 has the SD1 beaten, to be honest. I think it's very, very good, especially in fastback form. So there you go, that's just a bit of an update on this car. Don't forget you can support Hubnut via our Patreon page at patreon.com/hubnut. Also, we've got obviously the merchandise as well via hubnut.org. We've got fresh stocks of hats have just come in. Actually, no, they haven't just come in, they're due to land tomorrow, sorry. I've just remembered this vlog is going out immediately. So they will be in soon. We have had 2CV Power Less is More t-shirts of fresh stock have come in, so they're available on the website now. So that's all good, and yeah, please do support us, because yeah, I'm pouring my money away on stuff at the moment. It's ridiculous. Thank you very much, and yeah, we shall see you in a future video. Might be about this car, might be about the railway. That one's lurking in the wings. Might finally get around to editing the video up about the Mazdas. Lots to come, and yeah, thank you for your support and comments. Farewell.